What's happening, fight fans? Welcome back to the MMA Mindset. Back with first interview in a while, actually. I've had some stuff going on, some events that I've been attending back and forward. But yeah, going to be pushing out the content. Obviously, I've got one today. I've got Bailey Gilbert coming out in a couple of days as well. But yeah, just fresh out of coming off towards the end of the training camp. 9 days out from Cage Warriors 164 with Jack Eglin. Thank you very much for joining me, mate.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, not a problem. Obviously, people know about your fights because you've had some crazy fights. Obviously, that fight with Luke Riley, insane. Could have gone either way. Obviously, didn't go your way in the end, but he's obviously one of the most highest rated prospects, and you had him severely hurt and bloodied up in the fight. So people know what you can do, and people get excited over your fights. Obviously, 9 days out now, mate. How are you feeling? How's training camp been going? And how excited are you to get back in the cage?
Yeah, man, I feel good. I feel more than ready. If I'm honest, at this point, it's just I want to get in there now. You know what I mean? Being this close and this this far out, I guess. I just want to get in there now. I'm ready. I'm done. Almost like I'm tired of talking about it, and I just want to get in there and do it now. Like be about it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel good, man. I feel ready. Ready.
Yeah, definitely. At what stage of your camp are you in now? Are you kind of winding things down a little bit and maybe starting on like managing the weight cut?
Yeah, it's just staying sharp. Um, I'm still grafting when I go in for my sessions. Like I'm still grinding and still grafting with a purpose. You know what I mean? But it is definitely more so about the weight now at this point. Just getting the weight down and like the work's done. Do you know what I mean? Like the work's done. I'm as fit as I'm gonna be. I'm as strong as I'm gonna be. I'm like, so yeah, man. Pretty much just the weight cut and that now. Just getting the mind sharp as well. Getting the mind ready.
Yeah, and you'll be standing across from Enrico Di Gangi, a guy who's 4-1, very similar record to yourself, had
Yeah.
quite a big amateur career as well on the regional scene in Italy. How much do you know about this guy and what sort of fight are you expecting from him?
Do you know what? I, I don't know that much to be honest with you, brother. I watched his last fight a couple of times. I'm excited for it. I know he's tough. Like from what I have seen, like I'm definitely like I'm expecting the best Enrico De Gangi. You know what I'm saying? So but it's the same as my last few camps. Now it's just been more focusing on making sure I'm ready and doing what I can do and only focusing on what I can control. Really, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to speak about. 2 fight win streak. Last fight against Rory Evans, who's a super tough guy, and obviously you got that finish. Are you kind of riding a high confidence wave at the moment? And what's kind of changed for you over these last 2 camps?
Uh, it wasn't even that anything changed in the camps. Like training wise, I've been always trained the same. I've always trained hard. It's never been that case. But mentally, those 2 losses did something. Like they did something to me. Do you know what I'm saying? They changed me. They did. They really did. Like they changed everything about me. They hurt. So for me to sit here and lie and say, oh, like, do you know what I mean? I just went about it, I would be lying, you know what I'm saying? But like after them 2 losses, I really, like I said, I really went within myself, went like I asked myself a lot of questions and there was a lot of fucking hardship through that, you know what I'm saying? But I came out the end of it and I swear I've never felt so mentally strong in my life. Like ever, ever. Like I don't there's just I I don't know how to explain it. I fear no man. There is no person on this earth that can break me. Like that is generally how I feel.
Yeah, well, like you said, we've seen that with your fighting style as well. There's not an ounce of fear. There's not an ounce of hesitancy there. So no, I 100% believe you there. This is going to be a historic card, in my opinion, one of the best Cage Warriors cards ever put on. 3 title fights, and then you've got people like Perry Goodwin, absolute legend, making his
Yeah.
retirement fight against Chris Bungard. What does it mean to you to be part of this absolute historic card?
Do you know what? I have dreamt about fighting in Newcastle since probably being 14 years old. My mom's from there. All my I'm one of 6. I've got 5 siblings, and me and my twin sister are the only ones not from Newcastle. All my family's from Newcastle, so it's like feels like a homecoming. So I'm like, I'm excited. Like I'm not overthinking. Like I'm excited for it, but I'm not making it a big thing at the minute. I think after the fight is when I'll let that sort of sink in. But I'm buzzing. Like I literally, and you could ask Ian Dean this. I went up to Ian Dean after straight after, not even like 30 minutes after the fight, with Rory, and I said, I want this card. Put me on this card. Like I asked for this and I got what I wanted. You know what I mean? And I'm buzzing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just happy, man. I'm buzzing to get in there. If I'm honest.
Yeah. Have you seen the arena?
Uh yeah, it's like 5 minutes away from where my mum and that used to live. Actually, like it's literally 5 hours. It's down the road from Benwell, which is where a lot of my family and some of my boys and that from up there are from. So I've seen a little bit of it. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been inside there though.
It's a great arena. I was there for PFL, and
Okay.
it was a fantastic arena. The atmosphere in there is incredible. You've got the balconies up on the top and all
Yeah,
the tiered seating, so everyone can see like directly into the cage. So
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure you'll be able to feed off that energy. Obviously your weight division is one of the most exciting weight divisions in Cage Warriors at the moment. So much talent through there. Do you think it's the most talent rich division in the UK at the moment?
It's up there, isn't it? You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think to say it's not, you're lying. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I could say it's the most talent stacked. Like there's some like deep divisions in the UK. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's definitely one of like I don't want to say it is the hardest, but it's definitely one of for sure. Like you know the people in my weight, especially at this weight. Sorry, bro. At this weight class, uh,
Yeah.
it's different. Like we hit hard enough. We hit like 145ers, 155ers, but we move like 125ers. So I don't know. Like it's one of them where you could say it is, but I don't know, man. Like some of the 145 division and that as well, man. Like there's some killers. So I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely up there, man.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking about the bantamweight division, obviously on that card is the fight for the vacant bantamweight title, Reece McEwen, Liam Gittins. Have you kind of got your eye on your fight, and how do you think that fight's going to play out?
Uh if I had to if I was like putting my bet and if I was gonna put my house on it, like if I was gonna put the flat on it, like, do you know what I'm saying? Uh, I I'd probably have to go with Reese. I'd probably go with Reese. If my money was on it, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, someone like Liam, you can never count someone like Liam out of a fight at the same time. So to say, uh, like I generally don't know. I'm glad I'm fighting before it because it's gonna be a good one to watch. I know that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I'm
what you want.
excited. I'm excited. I've got my eye on it for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
My eyes on it. With
yeah,
both eyes.
yeah, definitely. And obviously moving into 2024, if you have a good end to 2023, what are you looking at for next year?
I want that title, and then UFC.
And that's literally that's just the game plan straight there.
That's it. That's it. Like it is. I don't like. I'm not one of these people that I don't. I simplify everything. I make everything simple. I'm not like like I want the title. Then I want to go to the UFC. That's it. Like my aim is UFC world champion. That's it. That is my end goal. My end goal is to be a UFC champion. So I want this belt. Move on. Go to the UFC and then get that belt. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all I see. That's all I picture. That is my goal. That's
Yeah.
the goals.
Well, I spoke to Reese McEwen a couple of weeks ago, and he kind of had that mindset as well, where it's that's your goal. And once you start overcomplicating things and being like, oh yeah, but I want to do this next year and this next year, he says it blocks your vision and gets in the way of it. So it's kind of having that clear mindset really important for you.
Facts, facts. I always took it from Benson Henderson. He always said to me, just focus on your next fight. If you win your next fight, they can't deny you. You know what I mean? Like your most important fight is your next fight every single time, without fail. That's the most important fight for you. You know what I mean? Because I've had it. I've looked like I did it as an amateur. Kieran Mulholland, right? That loss. I didn't. I just thought, I'm gonna smoke this. Like I didn't even see it as I was young, you know what I'm saying? So I just looked at it, but I am going to batter you. The skill level is completely different. and I didn't take it serious. And I found out the hard way that in reality, you can't write no fucker off, no one ever. You know what I'm saying? Regardless how good you think you are or how good you may be, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always a chance. You zig when you should have zagged, or you put your arm in the wrong spot, or heel, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, at a high level, someone can take it. So
Yeah, definitely. I like to play this little game, especially because sometimes I speak to like MMA fighters who they want to get in the UFC, but they don't really know anything about the UFC. They don't really know who's on top and stuff. But obviously, with yourself mentioning like Benson Henderson there, I'm gonna try and like do it with yourself. Obviously, if you get the win next weekend,
when
when you get the win next weekend, three more fights next year, go to 8-2, get to the UFC. What sort of matchups in that bantamweight division in the UFC are kind of exciting to you?
uh ooh, I've never been asked that question. That's a good question. Do you know what? I don't know. I generally have no idea. I don't watch that much. I generally don't watch that much like fights. To be honest with you, I only watch my teammates. Um, I don't know. Whoever. I feel like the mindset for me anyway. You know what I'm saying? When I go to the UFC, I want to know I could already beat the champion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I've sparred with the world champion. I've sparred with Sean. I was Sean's main one of Sean's main sparring partners for the Peter Yan camp. I've been in there with the best. I know I can hang at that level. So, you know what I'm saying? I know there is no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, I know it's more about me just putting the work out there. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when I get to that point, I want to be not that like Sean's a teammate. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that, like, but I would want to be able to and feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever they put in there at that point, I'm gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I get to the UFC, it's not about just getting there, because there's so many fighters that get there and they're like, oh, I've made it. And then, do you know what I'm saying? A couple fights down the line, that's not the case. Like, the easy bit, the way I've always looked at it is the easy bit's getting to the UFC. The hard bit's going to be staying there and getting there and staying at the top. That's the hard bit. Getting there is not, getting there's generally, I'm not saying this like in a cocky way, but getting there is not the hard bit for me. The hard bit's going to be getting to the top and staying at the top. That's the hard bit. That's where you see what sort of fighter you are. Not getting there, because everyone, when they've got the hunger and the drive to get there, is like, yeah, it's when you're at the top and then staying there and constantly competing at that level. That's a different ball game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you see it when like even people like as skilled as Modestas Bukauskas who got there and he had a few dodgy fights and even he got cut. Obviously he got back in, but that you can't really take it for granted when you're there. You can't like let your foot off the gas because
Well, nah, facts, because
you'll
it's
get
not
you
that case.
no, not at
Not
all.
the case.
And just finally, before I let you go, obviously you love a stoppage. Is that kind of what you're seeing for next weekend?
Uh, do you know what? I always see me winning. Like, don't get me wrong, I've pictured like me being in shit spots. Like, I have pictured him fucking me up in a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I would be lying if I said, oh, I haven't pictured me being in a bad spot in the fight or him getting a good. But uh, from what I've watched of him, he leaves too many openings, and I do think I will. I I really wholeheartedly believe I will find one. Like, I really do believe when I touch him, he's gone. It's a whole other ball game, and I feel like I will find an opening with him. He leaves too many, and at some point, like, I only need one. I need one, and I've proved that I've got. If I hurt you, I've already proved that I will put you away. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, if I hurt you, I know I can finish, and I know how to finish. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them people that rush and, like, that's not me. I pick and aim, and I will put you down. If I hurt you once, that's all I need. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he will open up, and I will land. So I couldn't say how or what shot, but he's gonna leave an opening, and I will take it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Whatever opening he gives me, I will take.
Yep. Well, like I said, you've heard it here first. I'm buzzing to see this fight, mate. Really excited every time your fights come up. I'm excited to see you. Glad I'm going to get to see it in
Appreciate it, man.
person this time. But no, really appreciate your time, Jack, and all the best for next weekend. And like I said, buzzing to be there.
I appreciate it, bro, and thank you for having me on, mate.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
not a problem, mate. You take care, mate. And like I
And
said,
you,
I'll see you
brother.
next weekend.
Down, man. See you next
Cheers,
weekend.
brother. Thank you, mate. Bye bye.